Hello and welcome to the Villa Park podcast. It's me, Rich, and I'm back with another transfer talk roundup. The rumour mill is still continuing with plenty of players linked to Aston Villa. We've got a couple of defenders, a couple of midfielders, and a potential returning striker who is on Aston Villa's radar. Before we get into it all, though, please do smash that like button. Please hit that subscribe button as well. We are 4,100 now. We've broken through that barrier on the road to 5,000 now. So thank you for everyone for all your support. But we want to keep going. So like, subscribe, and comment below your thoughts on who is potentially linked to Aston Villa. Before we get into the links, though, I just wanted to say a massive congratulations to Ezri Konsa and Ollie Watkins for being selected in the Euro 2024 England squad to go out to Germany. Really, really, really brilliant news for them and a testament to their hard work this season. I think the season that Ollie Watkins has been tremendous. He's got better and better and better in his Premier League time with Aston Villa, and 19 goals, 13 assists could not be ignored. Yes, maybe he hasn't had the best of time with England the last couple of games. I would say that he hasn't been helped by some of the starting lineups that he's been playing with and the tactics employed by some of the teams he's been playing against. But now he's in that squad, hopefully that confidence will come through and he can start to, be that real replacement to Harry Kane that we might well need, and hopefully he gets a couple of goals as well. And Ezri Konsa seems to have taken to international football like a duck to water. Brilliant, brilliant performances in his last couple of games, and we know how versatile he is. He's played at right back, he's played centre back, he's played left back. So I am sure he will be used across the Euros, and it's only going to do better for Aston Villa next season, going into Champions League as well, and starting to see some of our players getting that recognition that they deserve. So really well done to them. We'll talk a bit more about them in upcoming shows as well. Obviously, follow them through the Euros and maybe talk about Jack Grealish as well, because yeah, he left Aston Villa to get more trophies, kind of guarantee his place more so in the international scene because of the controversy that he felt at Aston Villa, sometimes not getting picked by Gareth Southgate. And now two Villa players have got in that squad playing for Aston Villa, and he has missed out on that squad. So, yeah, tough time for Jack. Obviously, I don't take any pleasure in it. I would have taken him, but it's not been a great season for him, and obviously culminated in not being picked for England. So yeah, we'll talk about that later on this week as well. Possibly do a pod on the weekend covering all the latest news. But on to transfers. So a couple of defenders linked, and today Jean-Claire Todibo, centre back for Nice, has been linked with Aston Villa. Very, very highly rated. Signed for Barcelona from Toulouse, then went on loan to Schalke, Benfica, where he didn't feature, and then Nice, where he played 15 times, scoring one goal in 2021, and signed for Nice following that, and has now played 100 times, scoring one goal. And yeah, comes very, very highly rated. I believe a number of clubs are interested in him. Manchester United potentially interested in him, and Tottenham have been tracking him. He's 24 years of age, but he's now come onto Aston Villa's radar. He said he wants to play in the top leagues in Europe. He wants to play in European competition. Obviously, now Aston Villa in the Champions League can start shopping in these areas and putting ourselves in front of these highly rated players. Now, having a look at his stats on SofaScore, predominantly right-sided centre back, so can also play at right back. Has featured 30 times this season for Nice, started 30 games. Look at his defensive capabilities, really, really high. His strengths are in ground duels as well, which we'll see in a second. Didn't score any goals, and did miss one big chance. Had two assists and created three big chances. Obviously, that's not what he's mainly there for. His passing accuracy at 90% and in his own half at 95%. So very technically gifted. We know that those centre backs aren't necessarily playing the most difficult of passes, so you expect that ratio to be high, but 95% and then 80% in the opposition half. So he's good at progressing with the ball and also playing with the ball in more attacking positions and trying to play more probing passes, I would say. Long ball accuracy 45%, chip passes 46%. Now the clean sheets here, 14 clean sheets, which is a pretty decent return from 30 starts. 1.3 interceptions per game, 1.9 tackles, and look at the ball recoveries there at 7.1 and 3.1 clearances per game. No errors from him led to any goals, and only one error led to a shot. So very assured defender, good at those ground duels, like I said, 58% and 61% in terms of aerial duels won, so good in the air as well, which we've maybe lacked in some areas with Tyrone Mings not playing. So he could well be a player who we look for in terms of, that right age profile, 24 years of age. The only thing is he's a right-sided centre-back, so Ezri Konsa, Diego Carlos, what does that mean for him? So, but maybe we're looking to play him at right back as well. So it could be a potential option. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comments. Now, also, Vitao has emerged as a potential link today. Now, he is also wanted by West Ham. He's at Internacional in Brazil and also was at Shakhtar Donetsk. Had a good season this season for Internacional. I don't have any great stats for him. We know in Brazil they played, Copa Libertadores, they play CONMEBOL tournaments, they play the Brazil Serie A. So he's played in all of those setups. In the Copa Libertadores, played 10 times, and has 2 clean sheets. But it's looking at about 8 million euros for him. And as I say, Aston Villa have emerged as a potential target for him. So it's going to be interesting to see whether we do go for him. As I say, he's come through from Shakhtar, played 23 times and has now been at Internacional on loan, I believe, and has played 74 times and scored 2 goals. And as I say, comes quite highly rated, can play on that right-hand side as well. And as I said, West Ham are very, very interested in him. And he can also play at right back. So it does look like Emery and Monchi are looking at this right-sided area of a player who can play right back and can also slot into that centre-back position. Now, what does that mean for Diego Carlos or someone like that? And would that player be potentially an understudy to Ezri Konsa? And also, what does it mean for Matt Cash? Matty Cash has potentially been linked to AC Milan, but apparently the price that we value him at is too high for them. Lots and lots of rumour, lots and lots of conjecture in terms of players potentially moving here, there, and everywhere. Now, an exciting one in terms of central midfield. Benfica midfielder, 19-year-old João Neves, is potentially a surprise link to Aston Villa. He's also been linked to Arsenal and Manchester United, and very strong links to Manchester United as well. But Aston Villa could come through as a surprise option for him. He's played through Benfica B team in 2022, burst onto the scene, played 11 times for them, and has played 50 times now for the Benfica first team. Has been capped at Portugal from under 15s, under 19s, under 21s, and now at full international level with 6 caps. In terms of his style of play, he's praised for his maturity, his highly developed mental attributes on the field, seeing as though he's only 19. He's quick, agile, and technically gifted central midfielder, and notable passing and tackling skills, quick reactions, and really good close ball control. So we know Portuguese players have a real technical ability and technical class. And at 19 years of age in that Benfica first team, under that pressure, yes, maybe the games aren't always as intense, but to play in that team at 19 years old, he must have something about him. So really exciting player. Taking a look at him on SofaScore, looking at his heat map all over the pitch, predominantly operating in that middle third, not necessarily too much in the box, but does know where the goal is, has scored and has assisted. Look at his technical and tactical and defensive ability, very, very good. Will obviously keep the ball, will recover the ball and pass it nice and simply, but can also play those longer passes and also press really well as well. 33 games played, he started 27 games, scored 3 goals, as I said, and missed 1 big chance. 3 of his goals have come from inside of the box, so does arrive in the box quite well. 1 with his head and 2 with his right foot. Does have 1 assist and created 4 big chances, but as I say, that's not necessarily his strength and his kind of setup in the team. If you look at his passing accuracy, though, 90% across the pitch, 94% in his own half and 85% in the opposition half. And at 70%, those accurate long balls, very, very high indeed. Ball recoveries at 6.4 per game and tackles per game at 2. So quite a combative midfielder, also very hard working, 62% in terms of successful dribbles, 57% and total duels won, and a small player at 58% aerial duels won. He can definitely put himself about. So reads the game very well, as it's been highlighted. Very intelligent footballer. But as I say, Man United, Arsenal are potentially interested in him, and I think it's around about 60 or 70 million euros. So really exciting player, but could be one to keep an eye on, because maybe we could squeeze through as a potential shock option for him. Now, maybe one that's less surprising, less glamorous, maybe a little bit of a lazy link, but Giovanni Lo Celso is definitely leaving Tottenham. We know that Unai Emery is a fan of this player, would obviously be available at a cheaper price than João Neves, but maybe not quite the glamour. But apparently, the Sun have reported that we are interested in him now. As I say, could just be a lazy link. Emery's worked with Unai Emery before. Unai Emery is a fan. He's 28 years of age now. Played, sparingly by Ange Postecoglou at Tottenham, but always played pretty well from my kind of eyes and looking at him, and gets about the pitch. He's probably one of those all-round central midfielders, not particularly brilliant at anything, but pretty good at everything. Tackling, passing, can score goals. He has appeared 49 times and scored 3 goals for Spurs. I think 2 of them were this season as well. Went on loan last season to Villarreal and had a good time of it, playing 38 times, scoring 3 goals, and that has got 50 caps for Argentina. So very experienced, could be good as a squad player. Potentially available for quite a cheaper price. Maybe you're talking 10 million, something like that, 8 million. So could be a really good option in terms of that, I guess, backup option to the squad that we've got. Now, we've obviously got Ross Barkley to join. Conor Gallagher's potentially, saying that he's not going to make any decisions till sort of after the Euros. He's open to the idea of staying at Chelsea, so that might not look, and talking 50, 60 million, I would obviously much prefer a Conor Gallagher. Douglas Luiz potentially now looking at signing a new deal with Villa, and maybe not on the move, but this PSR ruling, apparently we need to sell a player to potentially bring someone in. So Giovanni Lo Celso, Premier League experience, European experience, could he be a potential backup option for what we've already got in the squad? So again, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Now, finally, with John Duran potentially on the list for Chelsea, could a Aston Villa loanee in our promotion season potentially be on the cards for a return? Yes, that man is Tammy Abraham. Now, he's obviously, as well as Lo Celso, Tammy Abraham is linked every summer with Aston Villa, but if reports are to be believed, he was on the verge of signing this time last year, and he got an injury which prevented him from that. So very injury hit season. Did come back towards the end of the season for Roma, and I believe scored a couple of goals, and it could potentially be an option at 10 million euros, as Roma do need to sell, potentially in a similar situation to Aston Villa in needing to sell. And there's a question about this with a number of Italian clubs. Italian clubs have done very well in Europe this year as well, but maybe they've outspent. Maybe they need to kind of um, link up or comply with their own profit and sustainability rules. So would you guys take Tammy Abraham as an option for 10 million euros as a competition for a different option to Ollie Watkins? I certainly would. I think he'd be a great option, because we've needed a player who can hold the ball. We've needed a player who can score goals in the box. Yes, we've got a player in John Duran who can potentially develop. But if you're going to sell potentially John Duran for 20 to 25 million, could you then bring in Tammy Abraham for 10 million and obviously make that money back? And he would be a ready-made player to go into the side. England international, 11 caps, played 83 times for Roma, scored 26 goals. Obviously scored 25 goals for Aston Villa in 37 games in our promotion season, 58 appearances for Chelsea, scoring 21 goals. He definitely knows where the goal is, although he does miss the odd chance. He's still only 26 years of age, has been around for, as it seems, for ages and ages and ages. Now, yeah, I would definitely take him if we could get the 20 to 25 million for John Duran. Obviously, that's potential that you're paying for, that a club is paying for with him. With Tammy Abraham, slightly different. You're trying to resurrect his career, and he's trying to get his career back on track. So it's a different motivation. But for me, I would certainly look at doing that deal if it could be made. So that's it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Todibo could be a good option. Vital, Brazilian, young Brazilian international, under 20 international, could potentially be an option. João Neves, exciting player, potentially linked with Villa. Lo Celso, is that an easy option, or is that a potential really good backup? And Tammy Abraham, could he return to Aston Villa? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. As I said before, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, help us continue to grow on the road to 5,000 subscribers. I'll be back with another pod, I think, on Sunday to talk all things profit and sustainability, Aston Villa, England players, Jack Grealish, and anything else. And then fans forum next week. And hopefully, our interview with Tom Colomosi should be dropping very soon. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And as always, remember, we'll follow the Villa.